I'm on the last episode of season 1 of Friends on Netflix, and I've been noticing something. TV shows and movies set in New York City in the 90s, from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they tend to focus a lot on the World Trade Center. Obviously, that's like the most prominent feature of the skyline back then, before 9/11. And I never really watched Friends before now. I mean, I'd seen enough episodes to get the general idea of the characters and stuff, but I never actually sat down and was like watching beginning to end like I am now. But I'd seen it enough to know that I used to watch the old episodes when they rerun on Fox years and years ago when I was in middle school and high school. And I remember it showed the Twin Towers a lot. In fact, that's actually where I knew it from, was Friends. But so I'm watching it on Netflix and I noticed something. See if you notice something. Yeah, that shot should have had the Twin Towers in it, because you could actually see the edge of it on the far right of the screen, and it happened several times. One of them, they kind of missed it, and you actually see one tower, and then it cuts away real quick. And I thought I was going crazy. I was like, they wouldn't edit out the World Trade Center from a show from the 90s. I mean, that'd be like editing out a Robin Williams cameo. Well, I googled it, and turns out Friends isn't the only time this has happened. There's a long list of shows and movies that have the World Trade Center edited out of them. Why would they do that? I mean, I understand, if they were doing that, like, a couple of years after the event. I mean, obviously, they didn't show the kill shot of the Zapruder film of Lincoln. I mean, of Kennedy until years after the fact. But that I understand. I mean, you don't want the public to see that right away. But the fact that they actually went back and edited that building, well, those buildings, out of old, I would understand if they did that on reruns from 10 years ago, but this is Netflix. This is over 10 years later. It is, 14 years later? Almost? It was like almost September. I think it's, 14. And it was just added on Netflix in December. So a little over 13 years. And they're still editing the buildings out of stuff. Well, I'm sure, this is like a pre-edited thing. I'm sure they still have the unedited version available, because apparently it's unedited on the DVDs. So those copies still exist. They could have put those on Netflix. It's just, this kind of bothered me a little bit. They took the time to do that. I just find it weird.